These are the waiver wire pickups for Week 10. Number 1 on the list is Parker Washington. With Travis Hunter hitting IR last week, Washington was already expected to see an expanded role. But with Brian Thomas Jr. leaving Week 9 with an ankle injury, Washington was left as the top receiving option in Jacksonville. He finished the day with 8 catches for 90 yards and has now seen 19 targets across his last 2 games. And outside of this week's matchup against Houston, he should offer some upside WR3 value, while Jacksonville is without one of their top 2 wideouts, especially in PPR leagues. Number 2 on the list is Colston Loveland. The rookie had a breakout performance in Week 9, catching 6 passes for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. He definitely benefited from Cole Kmet leaving this game with a concussion and from going up against arguably the worst defense in the league in the Bengals, but this performance is still headline worthy, and with how much of a wasteland the tight end position is, he should be picked up in most formats. I would keep an eye out for updates on Kmet, as his return will certainly have an impact on Loveland's value. Number 3 on the list is Tory Horton. With Cooper Kupp suffering a midweek hamstring strain that forced him out of Week 9, Horton was thrust into the WR2 role in Seattle, and he took advantage of his opportunity, catching 4 passes for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kupp's injury isn't thought to be serious, but given how productive Horton was, Seattle may not be in any hurry to rush Kupp back. Horton's been playing around 45% of the snaps in most games this year, and he has been pretty volatile from a fantasy perspective, but the hope is that this performance earns him some extra run. Having said that, he should be treated as a touchdown or bust option once Kupp returns. Number 4 on the list is Blake Corum. For the second consecutive week, Corum saw 13 touches, and it looks like the Rams are trying to get this backfield to be a bit more balanced. While Kyren Williams is still the lead dog, Corum may have a pathway to low-end standalone value. I think the best case scenario would be if Corum saw double-digit touches each week from here on out, but his lack of touchdown equity caps his upside. On the bright side, the Rams do have a mostly favorable schedule down the stretch, so he may be usable in certain weeks. Number 5 on the list is Terrell Jennings. With Ramondre Stevenson being ruled out of Week 9 with a toe injury, Jennings saw an expanded role. He finished the day with 12 touches for 44 yards and 1 touchdown, and seemed to be the preferred goal line back. For however long Stevenson is on the shelf, Jennings should operate as a touchdown or bust RB3, assuming the Patriots don't bring anybody else in. Number 6 on the list is Devin Singletary. Singletary ended up seeing 2 more touches than Tyrone Tracy, and was also more efficient, taking his 10 looks for 51 yards versus Tracy's 8 for 37. This backfield may be more split than originally anticipated, but I would think that Tracy will still be given ample opportunity to separate himself. Although Singletary does have the added advantage of being one of Brian Daboll's guys, going back to their days in Buffalo, but I think it's still too early to tell which back will be the more trustworthy option. As for Week 10, both backs can be viewed as touchdown-dependent RB3s, going up against the Chicago Bears defense that has been vulnerable against the run. Number 7 on the list is Olamide Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus has seen a notable uptick in his usage the last 2 weeks, catching 13 of 15 targets for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Similar to Loveland, he's benefited with both Cole Kmet and also Luther Burden being out. And if either of them remain out in Week 10, he could retain some value in deep PPR leagues, going up against the New York Giants team that has been in the top 5 in terms of most fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. I want to make a couple of honorable mentions. First, Luke Musgrave. Tucker Kraft suffered what appears to be a season-ending torn ACL, and with him going down, Musgrave will be thrust into the tight end 1 role in Green Bay. I don't expect him to provide the same type of production as Kraft, but he should still be picked up and is a wait-and-see player. I also want to mention Isaiah Davis, who had a pretty solid performance in Week 8, but with the Jets on bye in Week 9, he's kind of become an afterthought, but there's a decent chance he maintains a reasonable floor moving forward. This is coming out before Monday Night Football, and the only situation I'm monitoring is the Cardinals' backfield. Michael Carter was cut and then re-signed to the practice squad, and Emari Demercado will return from injury. So Bam Knight's going to be leading the backfield, but it will be interesting to see who operates in the change of pace role. Those are the waiver wire pickups for Week 10. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which players you think we should keep an eye on in the comments below.